I'm Alan Kinney, Editorial Director with REIT.com, and we're at the Wynn Las Vegas for REITWorld 2015, NAREIT's annual convention for all things REIT. I'm joined by Charles Meyers, COO of Equinix. Charles, your company recently made a pretty large acquisition in Japan. Can you tell us what made that such a strategic acquisition for the company?
Sure. Yeah, Japan is obviously a very large colocation market. It's the third largest colocation market in the world. And we had really served that market primarily to bring our multinational customers who had a need to have a presence in Japan, and really we're serving the market in that way, and made us a relatively small player, candidly. We were about the 15th largest player in that market, and the company that we acquired, BitIsle, was about the 7th or 8th largest market or player in the market. And when combined, we're actually now the 4th largest player in that very large and attractive market. And so what we feel is that the combination of the BitIsle brand in tandem with Equinix, as well as their local assets, both their selling assets and the facilities themselves, really give us an ability to serve the local Japanese market and continue to serve our multinational customers in a very significantly different way, and really upsize their opportunity in Japan.
You also made an acquisition in Europe. Are you seeing greater opportunities for development or growth there versus the United States?
We definitely see a great opportunity in Europe, although I think we've seen robust opportunity across all 3 of our operating regions. Our European business has continued to perform very, very well. We grew the business at about 22% on a constant currency basis last quarter, and continue to see great opportunity in the market. The Telecity acquisition, which is what you're referencing, we just had regulatory clearance for that, and are on path to close that in the first part of the first half of next year, and really continue to feel very good about the European business. The combination of the Telecity assets and the Equinix assets in Europe really make for a powerful pan-European platform that we now can add to the broader global Equinix platform, and we think that's going to serve not only European customers but our other multinational customers looking to get into Europe very, very well.
Let's bring it back to the United States. Where do you see the fastest growing markets, or maybe some that might be underserved?
Sure. The Americas business also performed very well, and has for the last several quarters, even on a much larger base. I would say that the big areas of demand for us right now tend to be some of our really highly interconnected, highly cloud-dense facilities and campuses are where we're seeing the most vigorous demand. Silicon Valley in particular, Ashburn in Virginia, which is one of the most interconnected facilities in the world, or campuses in the world, and Secaucus in New York, or New Jersey more accurately, all seeing very solid demand across our verticals and our ecosystems. And then I would also say that we're starting to see a nice uptick in demand in really rich enterprise markets like Chicago, Dallas, and Atlanta, as enterprises are starting to adopt hybrid cloud as the architecture of choice.
And finally, what kind of role does sustainability play for your company as a data center REIT?
Yeah, we definitely feel an accountability and a responsibility as a global citizen in terms of powering the digital economy in a really environmentally sustainable way. And so we've made a commitment as a company to, one, continue to build our facilities with high levels of energy efficiency and the technology required to do that. And then also have committed to utilizing 100% green and renewable energy over the long term to deliver power to our facilities. And in that pursuit, we've actually executed a couple of agreements recently to fund the addition of about 225 megawatts of power onto the grid, green power onto the grid, and that's a really big step for us, which actually takes us to about 82% of our energy now coming from green and renewable sources, and so really good progress in that dimension.
Charles, thank you so much for your time.
Glad to be here. Thanks.
Be sure to visit REIT.com for more from REITWorld 2015.